management, IT, market research, and general business consulting. But I think you're much more interested in what I'm going to talk about today. And I'm really excited to be speaking with you all today. So I know a lot of you are thinking, well, I know how to be productive. I was productive when I was at work. I'm sure I can manage it at home. No problem. Nice and easy. That's the general mindset of most people. I'm a self-manager. I got this. Well, the truth is, it's not necessarily your fault. You have a lot of distractions. When you're at home, you have hundreds of distractions. Whereas when you were at work, you only had maybe a dozen. And those distractions were reduced by your coworkers, by your boss standing over your shoulder. But now you're home. No one will yell at you if you're on Facebook for half the day on your phone. So it's very easy to get away with these things. But generally, you don't produce the most productive work. You get behind schedule. You start to get in trouble. Well, the one really great way to mitigate that is with some really fantastic technology. So today, I'm going to walk you through a few different pieces of technology that I think will really help your productivity, will improve the quality of your work, and perhaps even reduce the amount of time. All of these tools can continue to be used even when work at home is lifted. So I focused on 5 different areas and 5 different tools. I thought to myself, what kind of tools are right for me and Ma? What are cost effective? Focused on the free ones. And what are really interesting? Because I didn't want to present to you stuff that you've seen 100 times, everyone knows Asana. So the 5 areas I picked out were time management, communication management, meeting note automation, email management, and small project management. I hope you're going to have a lot of fun today because these tools are very interesting. So I do want to remind you all, if you have questions at any time, this does not just need to be me talking to you for 20 minutes. This can be an interaction. I'm really excited to speak with you guys. If you want me to talk about something else, if you want me to go into more details on any of the tools, just let me know. Ko-Yan will interrupt me and keep me on and get your question to me. So the first tool I want to present to you is the Forest app. Now, I really love the Forest app for a few reasons. One of which, it's a traditional Pomodoro tool. Now, the Pomodoro technique was invented in the 80s in Italy by a student who had this little tomato timer. And he would set it to 25 minutes, and then he would focus on one thing, one task for those 25 minutes. In modern day, a good example of that would be emails. He didn't have emails in the 80s, but he would focus on, we could focus on emails, not responding to one email, but just clearing out the inbox for 25 minutes. At the end of that 25 minutes, the timer will buzz and you can take a break. 5-minute break, do some other stuff. Well, he was Italian, so get some coffee. And then after the break, he'd start again. After 4 times, he would take a 30-minute break. He actually found this technique to be very productive. And in fact, people continue to find it productive today, which is why even 40 years later, I'm still talking about it. So the Forest app isn't just a simple Pomodoro tool. It also gamifies putting your phone away, because how it works. Can everyone see this? So
Yeah, we see.
Cool. So I'm going to actually plant my tree because I don't need to be looking at my phone for the next 25 minutes. So what it will do is over the next 25 minutes, it will grow the tree. If I get on my phone and I go away from the app, the tree dies. So I really don't want to use my phone because I want to have some nice little comparisons, achievements that I can get, coins that I can earn, all these things. It's gamifying putting my phone away. And if you're in a company and you want to have a competition, you can actually compete to who has the most trees in their forest. You'll never see people putting their phones away faster. The last thing that really makes me love it is its beautiful social mission. The Forest app is free on the Android, but costs $2 on the iOS. I recommend spending the $2 no matter what, because they take that $2 and they plant real trees in the real world in Africa. And we just need more beauty in our lives. So the next tool that I want to show you is Chanty. Chanty is just a nice, simple communication tool. I'm really fond of it, and we use it internally at Mobius. Basically, it's a communication app where we get away from Facebook. Now, I know a lot of you love Facebook, but you can't deny that Facebook is distracting. You know, whether it's your friend sending you a meme or your coworkers switching between joking and talking business or any of these things, you know, Facebook is distracting. So pulling your communication out of Facebook actually has shown to increase productivity because you're able to have just simple communications just about business. One of the really great things is you can also containerize conversations. You can set a task, for instance, testing out Chatly. And in that task, you'll only talk, you'll go in here and you'll only talk about the tool. You'll only talk about how you're going to use it for the webinar. You'll talk about everything. And then you know where all that information is. And that's really important because I cannot tell you the number of times that I have scrolled through 100, maybe a couple thousand messages with my business partner, trying to find that right message, talking about something business related. Whereas we're just chatting about memes or whatever for the rest of the time. So having a place that I can go without distractions, I can find everything nice and easy, fantastic. One of the best parts is it's great for small companies or small departments. You get 10 users for free, and you can either set that up if you're a small company, or if you have a few small departments, you maybe 20 people, you can separate that out by the department. And then you have a bunch of free chat apps. If you ever decide to move up to the paid version, it's a better value than another tool you would have heard of, Slack, because it's cheaper and gives you the same quality. So next app. This one is really fun. I do have to warn you, if your meetings are not in English, this may not be the best tool for you. But if you do ever have English meetings, even occasionally, install Otter AI right away. It uses an advanced AI tool that goes voice to text. So even as you're speaking, even as you're having this conversation, it's recording exactly what you're saying in real time in text, and it's recording the audio. It's really great because if you have old meetings that you've recorded on your phone, you can just place them in front of the computer and it will actually listen to the meetings and record it that way. Or if you have a webinar like this, you could record it by just having all the audio allowed, and the computer will listen to itself and record it. I cannot tell you the number of hours this would have taken away from, this would have given me back in my life in the past, because I've spent 1,000 hours recording, writing down meeting notes or correcting other people's meeting notes or working with any of these things. And if I just had something simple that recorded it all right away, I would be so much more productive. Do any of you think that maybe this could save you hours of your time? I mean, you don't have to answer now. That was just for you to think about. One of the other really great things is the word cloud up here. You can click on the summary words and it will go directly to the location in the recording. Plus, the free package offers you 600 minutes per month. And if you combine that with other team members, you can get 12, 18, 24, however many 100 minutes that you want by just making new packages. As you can see, it also memorizes speaker names, who's speaking, so it tells you different people are speaking at different times. Really a lifesaver. Oh, one last thing. You can also export the audio and text. So that way you can easily share it with your team members. All right. Email management. So those of you, I know some of you are thinking right now, I don't really use emails much. I'm not too worried about it. This is actually a tool that I'm recommending, not because of its great email management tools, but actually because it can significantly improve the quality of your email. So it integrates with the browser for Gmail and Outlook. And it gives you for free the respondable feature that you can see over to the right. I hope you all can see it. It tells you things like subject length, word count, question count, reading level. As a machine learning tool, it's gone through over 1 million emails to determine what the appropriate levels are for all of these. And as you're writing in Outlook or Gmail, it will start to analyze how many questions do you have. If you have too many questions, people are going to respond less. If it's too complicated of a reading level or too simple, people may not respond. If you combine this with a tool like Grammarly, which is also free, which can help you with your grammar and your typos and all that, then boom, you've now tripled the quality of your emails for free. So I highly recommend it. In terms of the email management, you can also pause your inbox, which is a really fun feature that utilizes the tags from Gmail and Outlook to effectively hide your emails. So no emails get lost. It's not some sort of magic technical process that actually keeps your emails in a server somewhere. No, it just hides them and makes them invisible in your inbox. And until you unpause your email, you won't see them at all. You have to be careful. At the free level, it will give a little auto reply that mentions Boomerang, but you can manually turn that off after pausing your inbox. If you do want to go with the paid version, which is only $5 per month, which could be worth it if you have a lot of email issues, you get things like boomeranging, which if you don't know, that's an Australian weapon that when you throw it, it comes back to you. So you can boomerang an email, say, oh, this email is very important, but I can't think about it now. I don't want to forget it. So I'm going to throw it and I want it to come back to me tomorrow. Or send later features. If it's Friday, you want to write the email, you don't want to forget to send it. So you have it sent Monday morning. I use the send later features all the time. You also get things that are really great if you do a lot of email communication, a lot of email sales, things like trackers. They track whether or not someone has clicked on your email, and even whether or not someone's clicked on the links in your email. So these are really great tools at the pro level. Additionally, you get some advanced AI respondable features, positivity, politeness, subjectivity, important stuff, but at least getting the basics is really, really important. So the last quick tool that I'm going to be talking about,
I think like I want to jump into the to make sure whether the participants are getting the message. So ဒီနေ့တက်ရောက်လာတဲ့ဆရာစမတို့ဒီနေ့အခုပေါ့နော်ဒီ tool လေးတွေပြောပြသွားတဲ့အချိန်မှာအခုအထိကောအဆင်ပြေကြရလားနည်းနည်းဟိုပြောချင်တာဟိုနားထဲရောက်ကြရလားပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်အဲ့ဒါလေးနည်းနည်းစိုးရင်လို့ပါကျွန်တော်ပြောပြီးတော့နားထဲမရောက်မှာဆိုလို့လေတစ်ချက်လေး high ပေးပါအဆင်ပြေဆိုအဆင်ပြေ yes or no ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါလေးရေးပေးပါအောင် comment ဖြစ်ကျွန်တော်ဒီ chat box မှာဖြစ်ပေါ့လေ message box လေးမှာတစ်ချက်လောက်ရေးပေးပါအောင်အဆင်ပြေလားမပြေလားသိချင်လို့ပါဆိုတော့ဒီတနင်္လာ session ပဲဆိုလေတနင်္လာ session လေးကိုကျွန်တော်တမိုးရှိလေးပြီးစေချင်လို့ပါ
အဆင်ပြေပါတယ်ကို
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်မေးစရာရှင်းလေလုံးဝအားမနာပါနဲ့เนาะကျွန်တော် speaker ပြောထားပါတယ်ဒါလုံးဝအချိန်မြင့်ပြန်ဖြည့်ပေးပါဆိုပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ပြောထားပါတယ်เนาะဆိုတော့ question Q&A session တော့ထားပါတယ်ဒီကြားထဲမှာလုံးဝဥစ္စာစမပြင်ပြောပေးပါပေါ့เนาะဒါလေးတွေကဟိုပြန်ပြီးတော့လဲစမ်းသုံးလို့တော့ရပါဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျ Hi Ben.
Hi.
Yes, please click.
Fantastic. Yeah, sorry. I'm trying to learn Burmese, but it's going very slow. Thank you for checking on that, Koyan. The last tool I want to talk to you about is one that I'm really excited about. I know actually the Doors Institute uses this one as well. Basecamp. I recommend it for small project management or even internal teams. Basecamp is a really nice, simple way of keeping all of your communication, all of your information into one area that you just can't lose track of. It's not complicated. It's very effective. You know, you have tools like Jira, which is very complicated, and you need to set up the workflows and the issue types and all of that fun stuff, which I enjoy. But for small projects, that gets too much. And then you have things like Asana and Trello, which are good Kanban boards, but they don't hit the same spot that Basecamp does. So I'm actually going to dive into Basecamp. And show you what it's all about. So at the free version, you get 3 Basecamps and 20 users. And inside each Basecamp, you can have 7 different sections. One is the message board. In this section, you can actually write down any messages you want to announce to your teams, to your project, you know, learn how to be more productive. Don't forget to do this. We have this coming up. Anything that you want to keep indefinitely and you want your team to be reminded of constantly. You have the to-do list. It's not a Kanban board. It's a very simple to-do list. You can have as many as you like. Well, all right, I presented that. Assign it to people, put due dates on it, all of these fun things. You have all done. You have docs and files. So from here, you can upload documents directly to the Basecamp. I believe you get 3 gigabytes for free in your Basecamps. You can also link files to all of the popular file systems: Google, Dropbox, OneDrive, Box. These are really nice ways of keeping track of all your documents related to that project. The number of times that we used to share things on Messenger or Chantly that we would then lose track of in a week because we shared the link and then I have to ask again, can you share the link again? It was just a nightmare. But with this, you go to the project, click in, and you have all of the links and all of the documents that you need. Schedule, remind people of things that are coming up. Sorry about that noise. You can remind people of things that are coming up soon. And give me 1 second. Sorry. Is it better now?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. You know, things always, whenever you're presenting, things always happen. So we're jumping into email forwards. Essentially, each Basecamp has its own email inbox and actual email account. So you can forward an email, you can have it sent directly, or you can just include it as a CC, and it will go right here, and all of your team members can see what's being discussed. Automatic check-ins, for those of you that are used to Jira, these are, those of you that are used to Sprint, these are really great things that you can do with your team. Rather than having a daily stand-up, you can just say, hey, can you please make sure you respond to this every day at 9 a.m.? Make sure that you respond to this once a week. It will be very important. That's the automatic check-in. Finally, a nice little chat feature. Very simple. The campfire. It's not going to replace Chanty, but if you want to open communications and discussions externally, Basecamp is really great because it can allow you to invite people from different companies into your Basecamp, and then you can have the chats with them. Does anyone have any questions about Basecamp?
အခုဒီ live ကို join နေတဲ့ Shasma ဒီ မေးစရာမေးခွန်းတွေများရှိသေးလားမသိဘူးเนาะရှင်းကျွန်တော်ဒီဥစ္စာ message နဲ့ join လို့ရတယ်လို့ကျွန်တော် live မှာလည်း comment မေးနေပဲမေးလို့ရတယ်เนาะပြီး live လုပ်လို့လည်းရတယ်เนาะကျွန်တော်တို့အထူးဖြင့်တော့ဒါ live လုပ်တယ်ဆိုရင်ပိုကောင်းတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်အခုဒီစာလေးနားထောင်မီလိုက်ရင်လည်းဒီမှာတစ်ခါလေးမေးလိုက်လို့ရတယ်เนาะမေးစရာမေးခွန်းရှိသေးလားမသိဘူးဟုတ်ကဲ့
I would like hello dear Mr. Bain.
Hello.
Are you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I would like to know if we use these applications, business development Mobius. Yeah, if there any issue for us where I concerned because of some of the applications they take out our confidential data.
So you're concerned about, if I understand, you're concerned about confidentiality and whether or not any of these have been hacked or any issues on that. Anytime you put your data online, there is a risk. I once invented the most perfect computer. I smashed the screen, broke all of the outputs, and turned off the internet. That was the most secure computer ever. So sorry, it's a little joke of mine. But to the best of my knowledge, none of the tools that I have presented to you have had any security breaches. So there's always a risk. Make sure that I would recommend to keep your tools safe. You use a tool like LastPass to create complicated passwords. It's also free and it generates really strong and secure passwords. I would recommend that you share your passwords if you have to share them in a secure way, encrypted as much as possible. Because that's usually how things get hacked. It is pretty rare that these systems have a major security breach of your data. Usually it's someone's left their password somewhere on their computer or a sticky note or something, and the hack has happened. Alternatively, there are things that come from viruses. You need to be very careful when you install software that is pirated, when you install open source software that you don't know, don't recognize. I know so many people that have gotten ransomware, even large companies. Gartner recently had a major ransomware attack, even though they have probably more money and resources than any company in Myanmar. They still got it hacked, and they were down for a very long time, lost a lot of reputation and a lot of money. That was because someone at some point clicked on a phishing email that they shouldn't have clicked on. So keep your security, keep your company secure, keep your people knowledgeable, keep your passwords safe.
I would like another question. So if we use this application, the application creator could take our could know our data.
Okay, fantastic. Today. Hi, sorry, I lost you for a second.
I would like to say, or if we use this kind of applications, if we use this application, the application inventor could see our data or not.
That is a very interesting question. There are protections that prevent anyone except admins from seeing data. Often this data is encrypted end to end. Anytime, you're right, there is a risk of what you would call a bad actor on their end from seeing your data. It is very low risk and very unlikely. If you're dealing with highly sensitive proprietary data, then I wouldn't recommend using any free tool. Most of us do not need that level of security. But if you're dealing with such sensitive data, then you definitely need top of the line antivirus, all sorts of things. And I am more than happy to talk to you, Coach Jha, about your needs one-on-one if you have some particular proprietary and security concerns.
Thank you so much for your explanation.
Okay, ဆရာစမတို့မေးခွန်းနေရှိသေးလားမသိဘူးเนาะကျွန်တော်မေးခွန်းနေရှင်းဖြေပေးဟိုဒီမှာတခါလေးတိုက်ရိုက်မေးလို့ရပါတယ်ဒါမှမဟုတ်ရင်ကျွန်တော်အခုဆက်ပြီးတော့တွားလိုက်ပါမယ်เนาะ So Ben, you can please you can keep going. Yeah.
So I really apologize. This noise has never happened, and of course it would happen during the webinar. There's a little. I'm just going to tell you a quick story. There's something called Moore's law. If something can go wrong, it will go wrong. I remember one time I was working on an application. I spent 20, 30, 40 hours building it, and I went to present it. I tested it out a dozen times, and I went to present it to my manager, and only then, for the first time, did it crash. So with that in mind, I am going to swap back over. to my presentation and we can finish it off. Where was I? Here. Okay, so that's Basecamp. So I do want to give a honorable mention to Asana and Jira. Asana, both are great free tools that if you have the expertise in it, they can really boost your productivity. They can boost how well your company works together. It's really fantastic. Asana is a great Kanban board, which does to do and doing, completed, etc. very well. Jira is something near and dear to my heart. I really love sprints. I love Scrum, and Jira enables it fantastically. You can set up the right workflows, you can set up the right tools, you can set up role-based controls. Really a great tool. If you want to talk to me about Jira, we can definitely talk some other time. But I just wanted to call those out. As well, I just want to say thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for letting me speak to you. My name is Benjamin Finn of Mobius Consulting. And we do one-on-one 1-hour consultations for any company, any person that's interested in just talking about our services. They're free. So please, we have a Google form connected to the Facebook post. Please reach out and we'll be excited to talk to you. If there's any more questions, my time is still here.
Thank you so much being. So ဆရာစမတို့လေဒီအခုဒီမှာအဓိကတော့ဒီ tool တွေအကြောင်းပြောသွားပါเนาะအဓိကတော့ဒီဟာ webinar series ဖြစ်ပါလိမ့်မယ်ပထမဆုံးကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အယူရှင်းဆုံးဖြစ်တဲ့ဒီ productivity tool တွေကိစ္စကိုကျွန်တော်ပြောထားရပါเนาะနောက်အဲ့ဒီခါကျတော့ဒီဒါကတော့အယူရှင်းဆုံးပေါ့เนาะကျွန်တော်တို့ချက်ချင်းပြန်ယူသုံးလို့ရတဲ့ဟာမျိုးလေးတွေပေါ့အဓိကပထမဆုံးဒါလေးတွေကျွန်တော်စီစဉ်ထားတယ်ဒီ Mobius Consulting ကတော့ကျွန်တော်အဓိကဒီဘက်မှာဒီ software architect ပိုင်းတွေရောပေါ့เนาะကျွန်တော်ဒီ business consulting ပိုင်းတွေမှာအဓိကလုပ်တယ်ဆိုတော့နိုင်ငံတကာအတွေ့အကြုံလည်းရှိရလူတွေဖြစ်တယ်ဆိုတော့ sales တွေနဲ့အခုသိချင်တဲ့ဟာလေးတွေပေါ့เนาะဒါဒီမှာ comment မေးပေါ့เนาะ live ပါရောပြင်ဒီ zoom ပါရောပေါ့เนาะကျွန်တော် comment မှာ inbox မှာမေးပေးပါပြီးရင်နောက်တစ်ခါကျတော့ဒီနောက်ထပ်ပို့ပြီးသိချင်တယ်ဆိုရင်လည်းကျွန်တော်ဒီမှာ post မှာကျွန်တော် link လေးထည့်ထားပေးတယ်เนาะဒါမှမဟုတ်လည်းဒီမှာဆက်သွယ်ရမယ့် phone number ဒီ email ဒီခါရှိပါတယ်တိုက်ရိုက်ဆက်သွယ်ပြီးမေးလို့ရပါတယ်เนาะကျွန်တော်တို့ဒါ consulting session တွေလည်းယူလို့ရပါတယ်ဆိုတော့အခု main လေးရှင်ကျွန်တော်မေးပေးပါအောင်ကျွန်တော်တို့အခု question and Q&A session လေးကိုတော့ကျွန်တော်အခုစလိုက်ပါပြီဆိုတော့ဒီမှာစုစုပေါင်းကတော့မိနစ်40မှာစတော့နောက်ထပ်ကျွန်တော်15မိနစ်20လောက်ကျွန်တော်ချိန်ပေးပါမယ်ဆိုတော့ဒီမှာအဓိကကတော့ကိုယ့်လုပ်ငန်းမှာပေါ့နော်ဒီ productivity tool တွေမကောက်အောင်เนาะအခုမှကိုယ့်ရဲ့လုပ်ငန်းမှာလက်ရှိဟိုအခင်းကျင်းနဲ့ပတ်သက်တဲ့အပြောင်းလဲတွေနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်တောင်းချင်တာမျိုးလေးရှင်းလဲတယ်မှာတစ်ခါလေးမေးလို့ရတယ်เนาะဒါဒီမျိုးတွေမှာပွင့်လင်းလင်းအခွင့်အရေးတစ်ခုအနေနဲ့မြင်ပေးပါအဲ့ဒါလေးတွေပြောပေးပါပြီးရင်ခုနဆရာတယောက်က record ယူလို့ရလားလို့မေးထားရှိပါတယ်ဟို comment reply လေးတော့ပြန်ပြီးပြီထင်ပါတယ် record ကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ live ကိုဒီတိုင်းပဲကျွန်တော်တို့ထားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ပြီးရင် Drawing Studio YouTube channel မှာလည်းကျွန်တော်တင်ထားပါမယ်အဲ့တော့ YouTube မှာပဲကြည့်ကြည့် Facebook မှာပဲကြည့်ကြည့်အဆင်ပြေအောင်ကြည့်လို့ရပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒါတွေကျွန်တော် public အနေနဲ့အများနဲ့ထားမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့နောက်ထပ်မေးခွန်းလေးရှင်းလဲမေးပေးပါဟုတ်ကဲ့ခင်ဗျာမေးပေးပါ
ကျွန်တော်တခုလောက်တက်ပြီးတော့သိရှင်တာပါဟိုကျွန်တော်တို့အခုမိတ်ဆာပေးခဲ့တဲ့ software တွေပေါ့နော် application တွေက profile security management ရှိအသုံးချဖို့ရှာနိုင်ဖို့တော့ဥမာဘလို့အကဲကဲဟို skill တွေလိုမှလေးပေါ့အဲ့ဒါသိရှင်လို့
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျွန်တော်မေးခွန်းလေးနဲ့ပြန်မေးပါဒါမှမဟုတ်လည်းတိုက်ရိုက်မေးချင်လည်းရပါတယ်အင်္ဂလိပ်လိုစပြင်လည်းတိုက်ရိုက်မေးလည်းရပါတယ်နော်ဟုတ်ကဲ့
သူဆရာမိလည်းရပါတယ်သူhello
ဟုတ်ကဲ့မေးခွန်းလေးနဲ့ပြန်ပြောပေးပါ
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျွန်တော်မေးရှင်တာကြတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အခုမိတ်ဆက်ပေးခဲ့တဲ့ application တွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ဥမာလုံခြုံမှုရှိနဲ့ဟို security management ရှိသုံးနိုင်ဖို့တော့အဓိကပေါ့နော်ဟိုဘယ်အရှာတွေကိုတည်တရမှာလဲလို့သိရှင်တာပါ
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ခုနလေးဟိုအခုဖြေတော့တဲ့အတိုင်းပဲပေါ့နော်အရှိမဒီ Mr. Bean ကသူနောက်ဆုံးလေးမှာတော့ပြောသွားတယ် passport တွေပေါ့နော်အဲ့ဒါလေးတွေကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကဟိုလွတ်လွတ်စပယ်အနေနဲ့မထားဘူးပြီးရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ပေါ့နော်ဒီ device တွေမှာဝင်တဲ့အချိန်မှာတော့ကောက်လုပ်တဲ့အချိန်မှာလေးလည်းဒီအဲ့ဒါလေးသတိထားဖို့ပေါ့နော်ခုနကတော့နောက်ဆုံးအချက်လေးမှာတော့သူကလေးသတိတော့ပေးသွားပါတယ်ခင်ဗျ သူပြန်တော့ဒါကတော့ so company ကတော့သူတို့ကတော့ data တွေတော့ရနေမှာပဲပေါ့နော်နောက်တစ်ခုကတော့ဟုတ်ကဲ့ခင်ဗျတော့တခြားရောဆရာစမိုင်းမေးချင်တဲ့ဒါရှိရင်လည်းမေးပေးပါ Mr. Bin ရှင်းတော့ဒါရန်ရှင်းသွားလို့လည်းတူတယ်ကျွန်တော်လုံးဝမေးစရာမရှိတော့လို့မသိဘူး page မှာမေးခွန်းလေးတွေရှိလားမသိဘူးเนาะကျွန်တော် page မှာ live မှာမေးခွန်းလေးတွေရှင်းမေးပေးပါเนาะကျွန်တော်ကျွန်တော်အရန်ရိုးရှင်းနေပုံရတယ်အခုကျွန်တော်ဒီလက်ရှိကိုယ့်ရဲ့ဒီလက်ရှိဖြစ်နေတဲ့ခင်းကျင်းတွေနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးတော့မေးခွန်းတွေရှိသေးလားရှင်းပြတဲ့လူကအရန်အောင်မြင်ရှင်းပြသွားအောင်ရတယ်တယောက်မှမေးစရာမရှိဘူးထင်တယ်ဟုတ်ပြီကျွန်တော်က Q&A question လေးကိုကျွန်တော်အချိန်လေးကိုတော်တော်လေးခြံထားလိုက်တာဒါဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်မေးဒီကျွန်တော်ကိုယ်တိုင်နဲ့ပဲဒီတယောက်နဲ့တယောက်ပေါ့နော်ပြန်မေးပြီးပြောတဲ့ဟာလေးနဲ့ session ဆက်လိုက်ပါမယ် so မေးခွန်းလေးကမရှိဘူးဟုတ်ပြီဟုတ်ပြီ so Mr. Bain I think like we can have the I can ask some question and you can answer some
Please.
So
yeah.
So then you can stop share the presentation slides. So thank you so much for giving your time and also I also have some questions for you basically.
Please.
So you know the COVID-19 has huge impact on the businesses actually. Therefore, like you know, people are basically struggling like to have a productive days in their life, and especially during COVID-19. So what do you think? Like, what kind of things we should be aware to stay productive like during this time? And also, of course, some business are now on back, trying to operate their business. So, there, what kind of things you like the manager and also like senior people they should be aware of?
I think above all, mental health. I don't know if it gets talked about enough. You know, these tools, all that I showed you, I think they can really help a lot. But what the managers really need to take into account is the mental health of their people. Make sure that you reach out to them regularly, one-on-one often, and just say, hey, how are you? How are you handling work from home? You know, work from home in previous studies has proven to be very effective. The problem with the current work from home situation is we're all locked indoors. We're not able to get the vitamins we need from the sun. We're not able to get interactions with other people. Human beings are very interactive people. We love being with other people, and we often get energy from it. So depression has become a really big issue during COVID-19, and one that I'm sure has affected everyone on this call a lot. But make sure that so make sure that your team knows that you care. Make sure your team knows that you're there for them, because depression can not only affect their life, it's also from a business perspective, it can affect how the quality of work that they present to you.
Thank you so much for basically your answer. So this is very good. That's very good. Therefore, like I also would like to ask, okay, that this mental health for individual motivation, and also we also need to basically care our people, you know, who are actually committed at our jobs. So and also like there is also another question is which business appropriate wait where's the okay, so from Facebook there's a like which business are appropriate to use this application that you present. There's a question from the Facebook Live. Yeah.
I would say most businesses, these are very generic tools. The Basecamp is one that I wouldn't recommend a complex software team using it. That's something that should use Jira. But you could have your marketing team could use Basecamp just from a team perspective. You could have a small project. I'm currently running a small implementation for a local business, and we're going to use Basecamp to communicate to other companies, just to keep them in the loop on everything. Then there's something like the Forest app. Anyone can use that. The Forest app, anyone can use that. I'd recommend younger teams. Sorry, it just starts when I'm talking. He's listening from behind the wall, and whenever I'm talking, he starts.
Okay, just keep going. Yeah, it's happening.
Okay. So, so the Forest app is great that way. Chantly for small teams. Yeah, I'd say most of these are very small team focused, SME focused. Larger companies that can afford to pay for software, they may want to go with more complicated, robust tools. But if you're a young SME, I think all of these are hitting just the spot for you.
ဒါဆိုတော့လေကျွန်တော်ခုနကပေါ့နော်မိကုန်းလေးတစ်ခုပေါ့အရှိမပေါ့နော် Mr. Bean ပြသွားတဲ့ဟာတွေကိုဘယ်လိုလုပ်ငန်းမျိုးတွေဘယ်လိုတွေတုံးတင်တယ်လဲဆိုတာမျိုးလေးမိကုန်းလေးကိုပြန်ဖြေသွားတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်အထူးသဖြင့်တော့ဒီ tool တွေကကျွန်တော်လုပ်ငန်းတွေဟာကွက်လုပ်ငန်းကတိတ်ပြီးတော့မကြည့်ဘူးအထူးသဖြင့်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒါ medium site ကိုလည်းအဆင်ပြေတယ်လို့ပြောတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဆိုတော့ဟိုပင် team သေးတွေဆိုလည်းရတယ်လူမများတဲ့ဟာတွေဒီအဖွဲ့အစည်းတွေဆိုလည်းအဆင်ပြေတယ်ဘာလို့လဲဆိုတော့ဟိုအဖွဲ့အစည်းကြီးတွေကြတော့လုပ်ငန်းကြီးတွေကြတော့သူတို့အနေနဲ့ဒါဒီထက်ပိုပြီးတော့ဟိုရှုပ်ထွေးတဲ့အမှန်ဒီချက်ပို့ပြီးတော့ကိုအများကြီးပေါ့နော်အသေးစိတ်တဲ့ဟာမျိုးတွေတော့ကိုသူတို့တွေနဲ့တက်နိုင်တယ်ငွေကြေးအားလဲတုံးနိုင်တယ်ဆိုတော့သူတို့အဲ့လိုမျိုးလေးတွေမှာပို့ပြီးတော့သူတို့မှာပို့ပြီးစိတ်အားထပ်တန်တယ်သူတို့လုပ်လို့ရတယ်ဆိုတော့အခုပြသွားတဲ့ဟာကတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကကြစ်လစ်နဲ့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အဖွဲ့ကိုကျွန်တော်တို့ကကိုယ့်ရဲ့လုပ်ငန်းခွင်ကိုကျွန်တော်ကပေါ့နော်ခဏလိုဟိုဒီ productivity tool နဲ့ဒီ software လေးတွေအသုံးပြုပြီးတော့လုပ်ငန်းကိုအများအားပို့ပြီးတော့တက်ကြွဖြစ်နေအောင်ပေါ့နော်ဒါလုပ်တာမှာအသုံးပြုလို့ရပါတယ်ဟုတ်ကဲ့ဒီမိကုန်းလေးတွေအတွက်ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ထပ်ပြီးတော့လည်းမင်းပေးပါဦး So okay, thank you so much for your questions. And actually, we still have like some more time, like over around 12 or like 11 minutes for Q&A. So, and also recently, I also noticed that actually the communication is very difficult, basically to stay productive. Therefore, like we're trying to share these so that which applications are actually good fit for us actually. So kind of by side. There at the same time, like and also would like. I'm curious about like this, of course, like being productive is important. So, but what do you think? Like, what kind of changes should we make in our, the daily life in like at the workplace? So, because like there will be some changes the way we work. Of course, like people will be like insecure, will feel insecure, right? Things like that. So, what kind of changes will we face? Basically when we get back to work, and what should we do about that?
So that's a really, really good question. A really tough one as well. I think we can't necessarily expect everything to go back to the way things were. We've started experimenting with work from home. And as I said before, work from home has statistically shown an actual increase in productivity. The problem right now is not even work from home. It's the COVID situation. And I suspect that's keeping us all depressed and stressed. And that's reducing productivity more than actually work from home. So I think people need to be prepared to continue to experiment. Allow their team members maybe 3 days a week at the office, 2 days work from home if they want it. See what works, see what the right balance is. Some teams can't be work from home. Some teams you have to be in person. It really depends what works for your team. As far as these tools that I've mentioned, all of which can continue to be utilized even when you are done with work from home and back in the office. I would definitely recommend as well that you continue mental health check-ins. I hope I'm not talking about that too much, but we don't take these things into account as much. We had a humongous shift really fast Suddenly we're no longer in the office and now we have to figure out what we're going to do. And you want to ease people back into going into the office again, if that's the way you want to go.
Yes. Thank you so much for your answer. Then I will translate a little bit to summarize in Burmese, so then people make sure that they got the points what you said. Soဆက်စမတို့ကျေးဇူးအများကြီးတင်ပါတယ်ဒါဆက်စမတို့အနေနဲ့လည်းနားထောင်နေတဲ့လူတွေကအင်္ဂလိပ်လိုလဲကောင်းကောင်းနားလည်မဲ့သူတွေလည်းအများကြီးပါမှာပါဒါပေမဲ့ကျွန်တော်ဒီမြန်မာလူလေးလည်းနည်းနည်းလေးဟိုပေါ့နော်အနေချုပ်လေးပြောပြချင်ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့အခုကျွန်တော်ရှေ့မှာမေးသွားတာကတော့ဒီပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်လက်ရှိဒီကာလမှာကျွန်တော်တို့အနေနဲ့ဟို productive ဖြစ်အောင်နေရမယ်အဲ့တော့ပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီနေ့အလွယ်တကူဖြစ်ရမယ့် tool လေးတွေလည်းရှိရဆိုကျွန်တော်တို့ရှေ့မှာပြောသွားတယ်ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့လုပ်ငန်းခွင်မှာဘာတွေများပြောင်းလဲလာမလဲဒါတွေကိုဘယ်လိုလုပ်ရမလဲဆိုပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်မေးသွားတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့အဲ့ဒီအတွက်ကို Mr. Bin သူဖြေသွားတာကိစ္စကတော့အရေးတကြီးနဲ့ပြောရမယ်ဆိုတော့ mental health ကိုအဓိကပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တို့ view site စေချင်တယ်ဆိုပြီးပြောသွားတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒီအချိန်မှာလူတွေဟာတဘာဝအရာကျွန်တော်တို့ကလူတွေတယောက်နဲ့တယောက်စကားပြောဆက်သွယ်နေရတာကိုသဘောကျတယ်ဒါကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့လူတွေရဲ့တဘာဝဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒီလိုမျိုးသဘောကျတဲ့အချိန်မှာတယောက်နဲ့တယောက်ကဖြည်းဖြည်းနဲ့ဝေးကွာလာတယ်တယောက်နဲ့တယောက်ကအဆက်အသွယ်နည်းလာမယ်ဆိုရင်လူတွေမှာကျွန်တော်တို့ကစိတ်ကြတဲ့တံကိုခံရပါတယ်အဲ့လိုစိတ်ကြတဲ့တံတွေကိုပို့ပြီးတော့ကြံ့ခံဖို့အတွက်ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အလောက်ကလူတွေကိုကိုကတကယ်တော့ view site တယ်ဆိုရင်ဒီအချိန်မှာစိတ်ကြမ်းမှန်ရေးကိုအများတန်းကျွန်တော်တို့ကအကောင့်တွေပို့အတွက်ကိုတယောက်နဲ့တယောက်ဆက်သွယ်ပြီးတော့စကားပြောတာပေါ့နော် view site နဲ့စကားပြောတဲ့ကိစ္စလေးတွေကိုလည်းလုပ်ပေးပါဆိုပြီးပြောပါတယ်နောက်တစ်ချက်ကကျတော့ဗာလဲဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ကတချို့လုပ်ငန်းတဘာဝအရာတချို့လူတွေက work from home လုပ်ဖို့တော်တော်ခက်တဲ့ကိစ္စတွေရှိပါတယ်အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်လုပ်ငန်းတဘာဝအရာတချို့လုပ်ငန်းတွေကတော့ work from home ဖြစ်မှာမဟုတ်ပါဘူးအဲ့ဒါကြောင့်မို့ဒါတော့တချို့လုပ်ငန်းတွေကတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အလုပ်ပေါ်မှာမူတည်ပါတယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့ပြောသွားတာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဒါပေမဲ့အများတန်းကျွန်တော်တို့ကအပြောင်းအလဲတွေနဲ့ပတ်သက်ပြီးအများတန်းစောင့်ကြည့်နေပြီးတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့အလုပ်ကိုပိုပြီးကောင်းမွန်လုပ်နေရမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဆိုပြီးတော့ပြောသွားတာဖြစ်ပါတယ် so thank you so much Mr. Bain so basically so another question is this is a very good answer that you really highlight the importance of the mental health which is very important and it's important you know during COVID-19 I also we also have a very lovely sound, right? So and maybe our presentation. That's a very good. We are lucky. so then, this is something I wanted to highlight. So how the way we look at the our perspective on things, right? I also heard that actually, of course, now even admit our presentation there is a noise, pretty noisy noise, but somehow this is the way we see it. This our luck. We are lucky because this happened even during our webinar. So what do you think that you know the perspective on things like that is happen like kind of having a high impact on our job? So what do you think like the perspective importance of perspective on things?
Ooh, that's a pretty deep question, I think. I'll try my best to answer it. I think perspective is, yeah, like you're saying, it's very important. You know, we all see things from our own world, from our own perspective. And well, actually, I'm going to go ahead and relate this to software a little bit. When we're designing software, a lot of times we think, well, what works best for me? What would I like? What would I like? But you need to be able to relate it to different people. You need to be able to relate it to what marketing calls personas, different types of different types of customers and users, and say, hey, how would they use it? What's their perspective on how this works? And when you're able to do that, get inside their head, then you substantially increase the quality of the things that you output. What's more, when things happen, just randomly, right before this webinar, my internet went out and I had to run so I could get some more mobile data. It was really close. Of course, my perspective was a bit of stress, but if I let it shut me down, this webinar wouldn't have happened. And I'd be here because my internet's still out. I'm looking at it. It's still out. It doesn't go, again, same thing, Moore's law. It doesn't happen until the webinar starts. But uh, it's also okay to be stressed about these things. You know, as many years of experience as I have in working as a project manager, working as a business analyst, there's always stress, there's always things. You need to be able to take things in calm, make the right decisions, and then later panic, because the panic won't help in the moment. But it also helps to have ways that you can panic. Understand that your team may feel stressed about something. From their perspective, something terrible has happened to them personally, and you need to respect where they're coming from and take that into account. And remember that they are great employees nonetheless, and you really want to encourage them and be there for them and hear them. I hope that kind of answered. Maybe I went off on a few different tangents.
Well, it's totally, even is still in the boundary. Yeah, thank you so much. So therefore, we still left just only 2 minutes. So therefore, I would like to ask some the audience that whether they have the last questions for this session. So ဆရာစမတို့အားလုံးမင်္ဂလာပါအခုဒီ live ကိုကြည့်နေကြဆရာစမတွေပေါ့နော်အခုကျွန်တော်တို့အချိန်လေးအနေငယ်ကြာမှသေးတယ်ဆိုတော့အများကြီးတော့မရှိတော့ဘူးနော်2မိနစ်3မိနစ်လောက်ကြာမှသေးတယ်ဒါဆိုတော့အခုဒီ live ကိုကြည့်နေကြတဲ့ဆရာစမတွေကျွန်တော်ကိုယ်စိတ်ထဲမှာမတင်မကျဖြစ်နေတာတွေမေးဖို့ကြံသေးတယ်ဆိုရင်ကျေးဇူးပြုပြီးတော့မေးပေးပါဆွေးနွေးပေးပါနော်ကျွန်တော်ဒါနောက်ဆုံးအချိန်ဖြစ်ပါတယ်တကယ်လို့ဒီမှာကိုယ်စမေးခွန်းတွေပါတယ်မရှိတော့ဘူးဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်ဒီ webinar ကိုဒီမှာဆုံးသက်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ဆရာစမတို့နဲ့ကိုယ်အနေနဲ့နောက်ဆုံးမေးချင်တဲ့မေးခွန်းတွေရှိရင်လည်းဒါဆွေးနွေးပေးပါဦးကျွန်တော်တို့ဒါပေါ့နော်ခဏလေးစောင့်နေပါမယ် So now it's time to wait for some questions. If participants still have the questions, so then we can answer. If not, then we will stop.
Yeah, here is the one question. What is the difference between Asana and Basecamp? Which is better for the small business look? Yeah, it's from Siama King Yedanacho.
Really good question. Asana, I'd say, is for larger teams. Asana has a lot of moving pieces. Asana is, I'd say, medium complexity. Now it's back. It's been gone for 20 minutes. Asana is a medium complexity tool. And setting it up right can be really important. Whereas Basecamp is very simple. Asana is really good for internal work that covers a lot of areas that you have a workflow for, you know, a very basic workflow. But Basecamp is very good if you want to have people from outside of your company in working inside your Basecamp, because you can just invite them in. Whereas with Asana, you know, you might have to create a different board. Maybe they're going to end up seeing something you really don't want them to see. You know, you always want to manage what clients can see effectively. Overall, I would recommend Asana for operations and Basecamp for a small project.
Sema me ချင်တဲ့ဟာများဥစ္စာဖြစ်အဆင်ပြေလားမသိဘူးပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်တော့နည်းနည်းလေးကြာတော့အသေးစိတ်ကိုတော့မပြောနိုင်ပါဘူးအချင်းချုပ်ကတော့ဒီ Asana ကိုတော့ဒီလက်ရှိပေါ့နော်ဒီလုပ်နေတဲ့ကိစ္စတွေအတွက်ကိုတော့ operation တွေအတွက်ကိုတုံးမယ်ပြီးရင်မှာတချို့ project လေးတွေ project လေးတွေအတွက်ကိုကျတော့ Basecamp ကိုတုံးရတာပိုပြီးအဆင်ပြေလို့ဆိုပြီးအဓိကပြောသွားတယ်ပေါ့နော်ဟုတ်ကဲ့ဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့အခု4နာရီလဲကြော်သွားပြီဆိုတော့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီ session လေးကိုအဆုံးသတ်လိုက်ချင်ပါတယ်အဲ့ဒီအတွက်ကိုလည်းဒီမှာဒီနေ့ကိုဒီပေါ်တော့တေချာလေးလာနားထောင်ပြီးတဲ့ session တွေအားလုံးကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ပြီးရင်ဒီပေါ်တော့ဒီ webinar session ကိုတေချာလေးအောင်မြင်မြင်ဖြစ်လာဖို့တော့ကိုကူညီပတ်မှုပေးခဲ့တဲ့ဒီ The Door Institute က operation team တွေကိုလည်းကျေးဇူးများတင်ပါတယ်ပြီးရင်ဒီ
Yeah, do you have this one question on Facebook Live?
Okay.
Okay. Can I please you base ကံကိုမြန်မာပြည်မှာလုပ်ငန်းဘယ်နှခုလောက်သုံးနေပြီလဲလို့သိချင်ပါတယ်လို့မေးထားပါတယ်ရှင်
base camp ကိုလုပ်ငန်းဘယ်နှခုသုံးနိုင်လဲဆိုတာမျိုးလားတပြိုင်တည်းဘယ်နှခုသုံးနိုင်လဲဆိုတာလား
လုပ်ငန်းဘယ်နှခုလောက်သုံးနေကြပြီလဲလို့မေးထားပါတယ်ရှင်ဟုတ်
Okay. So how many businesses are now using base camp?
I don't work for them, so I can't answer that.
Yeah, basically it's from the Facebook live. So then someone want to know.
But tell you what, I will do a little bit of research and I'll see what their reported statistics are, and I'll post it on Facebook on our the Facebook Live.
Can you just say there's some kind of like of course like not very detailed, but like
I'll just find whatever they report and I'll get back to you with that. Very interesting question.
ကျေးဇူးများတင်ပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒီ base camp ကိုပေါ့နော်ဒါမှန်တော့ဒီ base camp ကတော်တော်ကိုအရန်ကိုကဘာမှာတွင်ကြည့်သုံးနေရပါပေါ့နော်ဒါပေမဲ့ loss Mr. Pino ကတော့ဒါသူ့အနေနဲ့ဒါလေးကိုပြန်ရှာပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်အတိအကျလေးပြန်တင်ပေးပါမယ်လို့ပြောပါတယ်
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါရှင်ဟိုအဲ့ base ကံကိုပေါ့နော်သုံးရင်ကုန်ကျစရိတ်လေးလည်းသိချင်ပါတယ်လို့မေးထားပါတယ်ရှင်
How much does it cost to use base camp?
Basecamp, for the free version, you get 3 base camps and 20 users. So everything I showed you was free. Was 1 base camp. And you also get, I believe, 3 gigabytes. They don't have multiple levels. If you go with the unlimited, which is the only level other than free, that's $100 per month. And it gives you unlimited everything. Number of base camps, unlimited data to input, unlimited users.
အဓိကတော့ပေါ့နော်ဒီမှာဟို base camp 3ခုရမယ်ဟိုပြီးရင်အဲ့ဒါတော့ပုံမှန်ပြ free version ပေါ့နော် free version မှာဆိုရင်သူက user 20လောက်ရမယ်အဲမှာလည်း gigabyte ဆိုရင်3 gigabyte လောက်ရမယ်တခြားအချက်လေးတွေရှိသေးတယ်ပေါ့လေတကယ်လို့သူကတော့ဟိုမျိုး layer တွေမရှိဘူးတကယ်လို့သူက3ဟိုပတ်စံပေးပြီးဝယ်မယ်ဆိုတော့ unlimited ကိုအကုန်လုံးရတယ်ဆိုရင်တော့သူက$100လောက်ကျမယ်အခုမြန်မာငွေနဲ့ဆိုတော့$3000ဝန်းကျင်လောက်ရှိမှာပေါ့နော်
Okay ရှင်ဟိုဆရာကြုံမောင်လားမသိဘူးရှင်မေးစရာလေးများရှိလားမသိဘူးရှင်ဆရာလက်ထောင်ထားလေးတွေ့လို့ပါ
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျွန်တော်ကဟိုမေးရှင်တာတော့မဟုတ်ဘူးကျွန်တော်ကဟိုသိရှင်တာပါဟို I would like to know Mr. Bin do you have any plan to share your slide today you use
Sure. I'm more than happy to share it with all of you. Keep in mind, it's got all my notes in it. But yeah, sure.
Thank you so much for kind-hearted me.
Okay, ဒါဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ပေါ့နော်မေကွန်းလေးတွေရှိသေးလားမသိဘူးမေကွန်းလေးကအချိန်ကတော့ကြော်သွားပြီဖြစ်တဲ့ကျွန်တော်တို့ဒီမှာပဲဆုံးသက်လိုက်ပါမယ်ဒီကလို့မေကွန်းလေးတွေရှိသေးရဆိုရင်မေးထားပေးပါဒီတော် operation team ကနေပြန်ပြီးတော့ပေါ့နော်ဒါလေးတွေမေကွန်းလေးတွေပြန်ဖြေပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်ပြန်ပေးလိုက်ပါမယ်เนาะဆိုတော့အဲ့လေးတစ်ချက်ပြန်လုပ်ဖားပေးပါမယ်ဆိုတော့ဆရာမတို့အားလုံးကျေးဇူးများကြီးတင်ပါတယ်ဒီနေ့အခုလိုချိန်ပေးတဲ့အတွက်ဆိုတော့ Mr. Ben thank you so much and appreciate for your contribution it's highly appreciated and also it's very helpful for the community especially as a community as well so thank you so much for that
I'm heartfully appreciated and thank you so much Mr. Ben and co Yeneu and the foundation
Okay ခင်ဗျာ Okay ကျေးဇူး
Thank
များ
you so much.
Yeah okay ဒါဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်တို့ရဲ့ဒီ webinar season လေးကိုဒီမှာပဲဆုံးသက်လိုက်ပါမယ်အားလုံးကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ခင်ဗျာ
One thing, sorry, I'll just add on to sharing the slides. I'm going to pass them on to Koyan so he can post them. But I'll also include our translations that were in the Zoom. So we'll put those in the meeting notes. And thank you very much for your time. It's been very exciting. It's been very interesting. There's more of these webinars to come, I believe. And again, I hope to speak to any of you. If you want to talk to me or my team, reach out. It's been a pleasure. Very good questions.
ဒါဆိုရင်ကျွန်တော်ဥစ္စာလေးဒီနောက်ဒီ webinar series ကကျွန်တော်တို့3ချိန်ပေါ့နော်ပြင်ထားပါတယ်3ချိန်ဆိုတာနှစ်ပတ်တစ်ချိန်အများတန်းရှိနေမှာပေါ့နော်ကျွန်တော်စီစဉ်ထားပါတယ်ဆိုတော့ဒါကတော့လုံးဝအခြေခံကြဆုံးပေါ့နော် productivity tool လေးတွေနဲ့အခြေခံကြဆုံးဟာလေးနဲ့ကျွန်တော်စပြီးဖွင့်လာပါနောက်ပိုင်းကျတော့ကိုယ့်ရဲ့ business strategy ဘိုင်းအနေနဲ့အရင်ကစိတ်ဝင်စားစရာကောင်းတဲ့စီကောင်းပေါ့နော်အကြောင်းအရာလေးတွေကိုဆွေးနွေးသွားဖို့ရှိပါတယ်ဆိုတော့နှစ်ပတ်တစ်ချိန်မှာကျွန်တော်တို့ပြန်ပြီးတော့လဲဆုံပါမယ်ဆိုတော့ဒီကျွန်တော်တို့ Mobius နဲ့ကျွန်တော်နှစ်ပတ်တစ်ချိန် webinar လေးထပ်ပြီးတော့ရှိပါမယ်ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါရှင်ဟုတ်
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်
ကဲ့ပါကျေးဇူးများတင်ပါတယ်ရှင်ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါအဲ့ဆိုဘောနော်ဆက်စမတို့အနေနဲ့ပေါ့နော်ဒီ Mobius နဲ့ပေါ့နော်ဒီတတော်နဲ့ပြုလုပ်ထားတဲ့ပွဲလေးတွေကိုနှစ်ပတ်တစ်ချိန်ပြုလုပ်မှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်အဲ့တော့လာမယ့်16ရက်နေ့နဲ့လာမယ့်16နိုဝင်ဘာ16ရက်နေ့နဲ့ဒီဇင်ဘာပေါ့နော်လာမယ့်ဒီဇင်ဘာ2ရက်နေ့မှာပေါ့နော်ဒီပွဲလေးတွေဆက်လက်ပြီးရှိနေမှာဖြစ်တဲ့အတွက်ကြောင့်မို့လို့ဆက်စမတို့အနေနဲ့ဆက်ပြီးမှပေါ့နော် join လို့ရပါတယ်ဆိုတဲ့အကြောင်းသတင်းကောက်ပါပါတယ်ရှင်ဒီနေ့ပွဲလေးကတော့ဒီလောက်ပါပဲရှင်ကျေးဇူးများတင်ပါတယ်ရှင်ဟုတ်
အမတက်ပြီးတော့ apply လုပ်ရမှာလားအဲ့ဒါတခုတော့သိရှင်
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါဆရာတို့အနေနဲ့ပေါ့နော်ဒီပွဲကိုပေါ့နော် join ပြီးသားဆိုရင်တော့ email တွေကဇက်တိုက်ပေါ့နော်ပို့ပေးမှာဖြစ်ပါတယ်ထပ်ပြီးမှဟိုစာလုပ်ဆရာမလို့တော့ပါဘူးရှင် register လုပ်ဆရာမလို့တော့ပါဘူးရှင်
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ကျေးဇူးပါ
ဟုတ်ကဲ့ပါဆရာကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ရှင်ဟုတ်ဆရာမတို့အားလုံးပဲကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ်ရှင် thank you Bin yeah
ကျေးဇူးတင်ပါတယ် tata
bye bye
是吧？